RDR fam, how's everybody doing on this great Tuesday? Hope everybody had a great day as always. And let's talk about DR. Showing initially just the ADR, ODR, and the DR session. And what I want you to notice is, you know, last week before, we had consistent um, range expansions to the upside. And now, if you look what we have an expansion to the downside, all right? But then it tricked us, all right? Tricked us today and did this move, all right? So if you were playing overnight, life was easy. If you were playing today, for New York, life was not as easy, all right? So last video, I kind of started, since it was late, I started talking about New York. I mean, not New York, I'm sorry. Started talking about the Asian range, that trade we were already in around 8 o'clock last night. And so you can see, like, we had that, we had a quick DR confirmation to the low. All right, right here. Boom. And then we retrace to the next candle, and then order on DR low, and we just keep following the path down, right? So that would have been that's an easy trade. Now, here's the thing. If you're brave enough and left it, right, we're talking about going from roughly 36, 45, 36. If you were really, 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 really brave, that would have got you down to in the 44. So that's 40, 50 points trade. There's no way you could have known that was going to happen. But even if you had gotten out, let's say you had closed out a trade, somewhere in here, that's a pretty good trade from here to here. Coming into the overnight, if you were up at like 6 in the morning, you could have caught this retracement here off of this down move. And then again, it got another nice a nice movement here, 45.20 to about 44.93. So that's about another 30 plus points. So again, opportunities there. Now we'll talk about today, because for the first time in a long time in New York, I think I broke even today. Nope, let me take that back. I think I may have made, let's see, 25 minus about $18. All right. Yeah, made about $18. Because, well, we'll go through DR, and we'll talk about how I made $18 on a on a trade today. All right. But here we go. So range today was roughly almost 30 points. It was a pretty wide range, if I'm not mistaken. We went from 83 all the way up to 13, basically 12, yeah, something like that. So yeah, it's almost 30 points. So pretty wide range. So you'd expect a lot of movement, and we did have that, except for, we got tricked a little bit. So let's talk about it real quick. And we confirmed low. Now, first off, we had this move here, right? So you remember, overnight we had this whole downward expansion, right? And then coming into New York, we had this move as well, which kind of confirmed that. So that made set my bias for us to go short. Okay, which again, I'm okay with that, because it's only a 60% bias in my head. All right, so I'm expecting that, but I'm also aware that we might go a different direction. But then we come down here and we confirm low. Okay, so once we do that, so now my expectation is what? That we're going to retrace. All right, so we confirm here, retrace back up. And then now this one was a little tricky, and this is where I got in, and I actually lost. I lost 5 points on this one, I believe. Let me see, because I got in here at around 84 and minus 84, yeah, 93, 94, yeah. So I think I got in like 84 and a half, 85, 84, and then took the 5 point loss there. And I'll tell you why I did that, because on this trade, when we confirmed low, the next trade retraced above the DR, okay, which is what we're expecting. Now, at that point, and then we started to come back down. So we went up some, and then we turned right back around. The same candle came back down. So my order was already sitting on DR low. All right. Again, trusting the process, right? So order sits on DR low, price comes down, picks me up. It goes down about 2 points, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's about 2 points it went down. And then it turns back around, and then we have this movement here. So I get stopped out of my 5 points. Okay? So that was not good. So that was a little frustrating because, again, I'm expecting price to come down here. All right? So my next opportunity, right, was for price to for this move, right? So price is coming down now, right? So we got out of that trade. Price is coming down here, and we get off on IDR low again, fully expecting price to kind of keep doing this move down here. All right, so we sit on IDR low. When we don't do that, we actually get stuck right here on IDR low. Okay, now there's probably some breakers and some gaps and some other stuff in there going on, but I'm just looking strictly from a DR perspective. All right, now once that happens, we came down again another point or so, and then we went back up. And once we got into once went up here, and once that fair value gap formed, it's like, okay, I'm getting out, right? And so I think I lost about 3 or 4 on that one. Who counts when you're losing, right? But I stopped myself. I didn't go to the full 5 points on that one. I do remember that. All right, so here's where I made up some of it. Okay, so I did two things, right? So here, price comes up, and remember, we're still using our ladder strategy, still trusting the process, right? So we got a loss here, right? And we have a loss here, okay? So I'm down about 8 points, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, about 8 points or so. All right, so then price comes up here, and it comes up and it takes out or touches, sorry, I can't draw a straight line with this thing, but this blue line right here, which is our 0.5 fib for the DR, okay? So once it goes above that, I put an order in on DR for it to come back down. But I'm still trusting that right there, okay? And so now, here's where I actually made a smart play for today. So this move came down, and this was, let me get some numbers for you guys. This was 45, I think it was 44.98, 98.50, and then this comes down to 93.50, right? So this was 5 points almost to the dot. Oh, what am I doing here? What's going on? Oh, don't want to do any alerts or anything. Hold on, guys. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so right down here, almost to the dot, it comes down to 5 points. Now, why did I get out? Why did I not expect it to keep coming down here? Because we got these two big fair value gaps sitting right here. These are bullish fair value gaps, all right? So yes, it may have done that. It could have done that, but I wasn't taking that chance because I didn't want to have this reversal like I've had twice so far in that morning, right? Had reversal here over on this side, right? And then we also had another reversal here, okay? So once we got down here, I wasn't taking a chance with the reversal, right? Plain and simple. Now, the next thing that happened, though, right, we're sitting in the fair value gap, right? So we're here. Now, this is where I jump into ICT mode, right? Because at this point, I'm too far away from my my DR lines to worry about it, and my 0.5 fib is up there. So what I see is this candle right here comes in and pierces that fair value gap. Okay, remember, bullish fair value gap. So what I'm expecting is price to go this way. So I put an order in right at the top, like about a tick or so above that top of that fair value gap, and then let it ride up, and that was another 5 points, right? So I want to say I lost 8, and I think it was 4 or 5. Let me see. I lost 8, and then I gained 8.25. So that may have been a 3-point because I just got out at a certain point in here. Okay, you can tell I wasn't that thrilled with what was going on today. But so how I got to $18 was I took a 1/4 point more than what I had lost. So when I got back to even, I actually had enough to cover the commissions. So that's how I got to 18 on that trade. So, but again, I could have held this trade. I also could have gotten in again over here. Did not do that. Once I got back even, I was done. Honestly, I didn't even look at the market for the rest of the day because, this part right here was frustrating. This was frustrating. This was, a solid trade. This was something that, again, I was going against the what I'm looking at as my bias for the day. But again, I understand what a fair value gap does in that situation and how it should work. So that's, I'm happy to take that trade. But after that, I was kind of done for the day. Didn't even really look at the charts anymore. But again, as I'm looking now, I can see that there's another opportunity there to, get some scalping, some points here. Um, Another fair value gap up here that we could have possibly done this on, moved up on here. And, now we're getting toward the end of the day. And so I'm not, I'm usually not an end of day trader as much. But you could have taken that trade and had a pretty good run up. So, tough day for me. Like I said, one of the first days where, I didn't, just overwhelm any losses I've had, right? So I had to like fight back for those two losses. It's been a very long time since I've had two losses. Not saying I'm perfect, but again, I trust the process and I just keep going. I had a friend of mine ask me like, how do you just do those trades? I'm like, because one of two things is going to happen, right? Either I'm going to win or I'm going to lose, right? That's all I can think about. And, how do I mitigate the losses? Okay, well, I have less losses than I have wins, and I have a smaller stop loss and I do take profit, or I scalp, when I'm up in profit if I'm not, really confident in it. But for me, that's just my style of how I want to trade in the market, and it works for me. So today was, again, a little frustrating, honestly, for me, because I'm used to things kind of working themselves out, and I had to like force it today a little bit. So thank you, ICT, for your teachings. Still like the DR, of course. DR is fabulous to me. It works, it's supposed to work 88% of the time, and so I have nothing to complain about because I'm probably 70-80% win rate when I follow the rules. All right, so not easy to do all the time, but when you follow the rules, normally it's pretty successful. So anyway, so we had a reversal today. After that overnight down move, we had this reversal. Somebody said this was a buy model. I know what a buy model is. I don't know how to like spot it ahead of time, but some people say, "Oh, that's a buy model." I'm like, "Oh, sounds good to me." But we had this reversal coming back up. Now, once we confirmed low, and then right around 3 o'clock, we invalidated the DR low for the day, right? But at 3 o'clock, it's kind of late anyway, so that really wouldn't impacted us. But all this run up here, was just, it was pretty. Now, one thing I did say, and that's the last thing I'll talk about, is when we got up here, right around here, I said, okay, and I said, well, this could be the start of a retirement setup, right? Because we're pretty close to the IDR line at the high, and so it may decide it wants to come back down. And I said, nope, not going to fall for the banana and tailpipe because this fair value gap sitting right here. And so 50% chance it'll go through it, but a 50% chance it won't, and it'll bounce off, which is what it did. So this one could have, if I was being aggressive, I would have taken this and probably gotten stopped out again, but didn't play with that at all. Just looked at it and let it go by, and then I went back to the chart after about 20 minutes, and I was like, oh yeah, good idea for me not to take that trade because it went right back up here. All right. So anyway, so yeah, today was a workout, and I didn't even trade that much. Didn't look at the charts that much. Again, things that I still say, to look at is set your alerts. Don't stare at the charts all day. Let the alerts kind of tell you when to pay attention. Just today, the first two did not work out, and so was able to recover from that, and that's all I could really ask for. So anyway, hope everybody again had a great day, and have a great night. Love on your loved ones. You never know when you won't be able to do it again. So take advantage of the opportunity. All right. Y'all be good, and we will see you later.